get equal value in return. They can't find a way to trade Rudy Gay in the last year of his deal, a veteran, and said he didn't want to be there.
They're trying
Of course,
so
they can't
hard.
trade DeMarcus Cousins.
They're trying so hard. Right now, if you look at Vlade Divac's outgoing calls, it's just every general manager in the league. Every single one, every day. He's just calling everyone. So, who's going to be the first player to quote-unquote Draymond in social media? And of course, I'm talking about a picture that this season in the NBA.
How about C.J. McCollum?
Okay.
Playing for the Portland Trail Blazers, I anticipate they'll be one of the top 4 teams. He had a breakout year last year, averaging over 20 points. I think he and Dame Lillard are the second best backcourt behind the Splash Brothers in the entire NBA. He has an opportunity at the shooting guard spot to be a first-time All-Star.
I've got Giannis Antetokounmpo, just like for all the reasons you mentioned. I think this is going to be a huge year by the Kardashian curse.
Yes, if that means being back-to-back champions, that will not happen this year. It's going to have a lot more to do with the fact that the Golden State Warriors added Kevin Durant.
No.
But it's not going to help that the Kardashian clan is going to be at the game wearing multiple jerseys from multiple players on the team with television cameras.
So, you know, we embrace metrics. Like, you and I both love just watching the game and just using our own knowledge and expertise to evaluate.
And I got another metric for you.
What's
James Harden was playing on the Houston Rockets, was the players' MVP, and then he started dating a Kardashian, and his team didn't have that level
Showed
of
up
success.
out of shape.
Odell Beckham Jr. had a terrific summer being in the tabloids a lot of times for some of the reasons he probably wished he was not. He came to training camp, he got off to a poor of the season, though he really exploded this previous week catching for over 200 yards. And last but not least, Tristan Thompson. We heard about the news of them dating, possibly an engagement. What do all 3 of those individuals have in common? They wear number 13.
I didn't think of that. And left-handed. Left-handed number 13s. She's big into that. Jalen, there's been...
And many others were allowed to do.
LeBron
I would
James.
give them the opportunity to enter the draft. That's up to them and their families. Yes, there are going to be some horror stories, but there are also going to be some success stories of people that were able to take advantage of that opportunity and went on to become Hall of Fame caliber players.
They're also going to raise the rookie and veteran minimum wage scale. What do you think of that?
And also the amount of money that players made then versus the amount of money players make now. So because of that level of inflation, hopefully today's player, which as you acknowledge is working to try to make happen, is able to draw on that opportunity, give back to those retired players who could really use that aid.
So what happens if I'm a retired player? I played in the league for 4 or 5 years.
And all of the things that he does to his body, he or she does to their body. So because of that, that's where that insurance becomes paramount.
What resources are available to me? Do I get medical benefits? Do I have a contact? Is there some sort of counselor? Is there someone for what resources do I have?
I'm glad you asked that question, because one of the things that they should also do, the Major League Baseball, which has the best professional union, is the things that they should also do. The Major League Baseball, which has the best professional union, is players should be required to join the Retired Players Association while they're current players.
Explain.
Because you can't dictate when it's over. And so what ends up happening is that makes the current Players Association strong, because you have 450, the 4,000 people in the world to ever compete in an NBA game. You're trying to make sure they have the support they need, physically, mentally, emotionally, appearances, counseling. There's so many things that go into it, which is why it's very important to not only join the Retired Players Association when you're done, it's really better off to actually do it when you're a current player. Guards on the floor in LeBron James, who's basically a primary ball handler playing up front. And then you have Kyrie Irving, who's clearly their point guard. But both of those guys thrive in isolation situations. So when they're both on the floor, it's paramount to either have shooters, defenders, or dirty work players with those guys, because you don't want everybody else trying to create and handle the ball, because it distorts the offense. Kay Felder, who they break consistently. He's not going to be a guy you want initiating offense, running pick and rolls. He's one of the guys that I just talked about. Primary role for Iman and Tristan, play defense, first and foremost, For the other one, spot up and shoot threes. For the other one, catch lobs and hopefully make free throws. J.R. Smith, catch and shoot. Kevin Love, 50% of his shots are going to be from three. They hope he gets around 10.
There's rumors around, and now the Heat are like, no, Goran, no, you're our guy. Those are just rumors. Is there some truth to these rumors?
Well, Goran's not the kind of player that can dictate whether he moves or not because he's not a superstar. There are only few players that know I'm going to be here all year regardless of what happens. And he does not fall into that category. And usually rumors a lot of times are based off truth.
Long. And is there some truth to the LaMarcus Aldridge rumors that perhaps he's not the right fit in San Antonio and the Spurs organization is considering moving him?
I don't think that the Spurs are looking to trade LaMarcus Aldridge. No. They're the only team in the league that's going to start three players up front that each made the All-Star team last year. Kawhi Leonard is going to be an MVP candidate. Obviously, LaMarcus Aldridge, they're the only team in the league that's going to start three players up front that each made the All-Star team last year. Kawhi Leonard is going to be an MVP candidate. Obviously, LaMarcus Aldridge, who we're discussing, and Pau Gasol, who they've added. When they become rumors, it's two-sided. One, the Spurs probably seeing if they can get a king's ransom for him. The other thing is other teams trying to acquire him.
Jalen, here's the thing.
Because you're not going through each coaching staff and saying that about some of the guys that's sitting behind the bench.
Okay, because some of the guys are sitting behind the bench and the other teams have not ran into the stands and tried to, fight the fans. Yeah. So there's that.
But
and
you're allowed.
They didn't change their name to World Peace.
But you're allowed to have a pass. It's okay.
Okay. We all have pass, Jalen.
And we all ask for forgiveness.
Let's give a listen to Dame Dolla's new
conversation. But the guy that I think is going to be hovering around 35 minutes each night, but 25 points per game, win, lose, or draw, that's Dame Lillard. Ooh. I'm putting him in this conversation.
He said that he recorded his album in 5 days, working from basically noon to midnight in 5 days. Do you think he should have spent more time on his album?
It varies.
You gotta spend more than 5 days. Good, and Reggie is a hater. Reggie said that Cameron was trash. So it's gotta be all right if he thinks Dame is good. But when I listen to this album, and I will listen to this album this weekend, here's what I'm gonna be thinking. What if he spent 10 days on it? What if he spent 15 days on it? Like 5 days just doesn't seem like enough time to make art to put out to the world.
All I know is this. Since the early 90s with Hammer, the E40, and Too Short, through Big Sean, and so many artists laying in the bed with the remote, like they playing in London. I thought the game was coming on at 9 in the morning. I'm trying to find the game. Then I realized it was going to be, I have to watch it online. I was like, I'm going to watch something else.
Yeah, I'm not going to watch it. So here's my thing. I let everybody else tell me what new technologies to get involved with. Because remember 3D television? You remember that from like 5-6 years ago? Everyone was going to have 3D TVs. We're going to broadcast college football games in 3D. And leeks and onions in India Pale Ale. If I'm spending over $11 on a single potato chip, you got to give me better flavors than that. It's just that simple. Will you ever buy a set of 5 potato chips for $56?
I will not. Those, A, are too healthy. No. B, usually when people like myself who enjoy chips,
you do love chips.
You eat them for a couple of reasons that you may or may not realize. You either addicted.
The first pitch in one of the World Series games. Do you think they should let him do so?
They should. Why not? He's a native. He want to represent his team. He's a public figure. All type of people have had the opportunity to throw out first pitches. I don't see why not.
I'm not for it. You can't let Charlie Sheen do this. You don't want to associate your franchise with Charlie Sheen. And here's the whole thing. It's like, because he played a fictional character that was once on the Indians.
And all of the people attributed to the film to want to remake it. I can't wait for the remix to Scarface coming out. It's the exact same ideology.
I'm not excited about the remix to Scarface. I'm also not excited about Space Jam 2, and I would be very upset if LeBron James associates himself with the Space Jam 2 thing. I know he says he's chasing the ghost of Chicago or whatever, but don't, come on, man. If you're going to be in your own movie, don't just be in Michael Jordan's movie. I know he says he's chasing the ghost of Chicago or whatever, but come on, man. If you're going to be in your own movie, don't just be in Michael Jordan's movie. You know what I mean? Come up with your own movie. You've got a huge production company. You've got millions of writers, people that you have on your staff. Come up with your own thing. Yeah.
He's not an actor. He ain't in a position to be turning down or, do you want to be in Star Wars? Nah, R2-D2 was in it. I'm good.
Name another Star Wars character. People think they're a soccer team when they go through the airport.
Yeah.
That's what they needed. They're just like, look, we got Steve Kerr.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Steph Curry. Like, we don't look like a basketball team.
The only player in
We're
their
a 7-footer.
lineup that's over 6'7" is KD.
They're shooting forward. They do look taller now when they walk through the airport. My question for this is, how does this happen? It's just this, my brain isn't ready to be watching football. And it also extends the football day. It becomes like a 15-hour football day. I can't do that.
I will be watching in one way, shape, or form every NFL game as long as it's televised.
Do you think the Rams have a chance to beat the Giants?
I do. The Rams got off to a bad start. They played easy on their kicker, Mr. Brown. We saw the allegations. We saw the journal. I got a chance to briefly check out some of the things that were noted and acknowledged that he unfortunately did to his wife. And the dichotomy for me is that was something that we talked about on this show months ago.
Another thing is like Ben McAdoo says, oh, we're not going to turn our back on Josh Brown. It's like, yeah, you can turn your back.
There is a chance. Give the ball to Le'Veon Bell 45 times.
Not going to happen.
And allow Antonio Brown to catch 15 balls and do 15 reverses and he run back a punt. I think the Patriots, with a full arsenal of Gronk, Bennett, Amendola, Edelman, Blount,
Hogan,
they find a way to get it done on the road. And obviously Tom Brady.
College football, Texas A&M, ranked number 6.
1-2 with the Red Sox as their skipper, helping to break the curse. Eventually got an opportunity to play against the Red Sox and advance this year. Now has his team in the World Series. I would like to see Cleveland, after watching the Cavs win the championship, also see the Indians in the same year.
We also have a debut this weekend on the Food Network. Do you watch the Food Network, Jalen?
I do not.
You're
You're always
like the
lying.
Ouija board?
You're lying. Why you always lying?
Jalen, you think I made up that story?
I don't think you did. I know you did.
I hate you, and I hate this show, and I quit.
Why you always lying?
Again?
Hopefully it break the losing streak.
We'll follow up. We'll follow up on our next show on Wednesday to see how you did against LeBron. I am predicting a huge defeat for Jalen Rose.
Well, I'm projected to lose, but I will say this. I actually signed up for 2 fantasy leagues. And the other one that happens to be with this show, and I'm 5-1 in that one.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that.
Okay,
Yeah, I
yeah.
don't want to talk about that.
I'm 5-1 in that
I don't want to talk
one.
about that one.
Yeah.
If you put up $10,000,
Win 1 or 2 games in the Browns, but I'm gonna tell you what, and I keep stressing this. Terrell Pryor is a player.
he is. They're talking about contract extension for him.
From seeing him in college playing quarterback in the Big Ten to how he's transformed into a receiver and a multi-dual threat, he's going to be a problem for years to come.
Celis wants to know, do you guys feel that Aaron Rodgers can become his normal self after the Cardinals? On paper, that is like a playoff in an NFC championship worthy matchup. But then injuries, of course, derail the Cardinals. How big is Bill Lebowski? Next question we have is from Fresco Lafleur Ishkoshka. Will Odell repeat his Week 6?
Not only will she not break up with him, they're going to get married, in my opinion, in that period of time.
You're predicting that between now and a year from today, Tristan Thompson and Khloe Kardashian will be married. Well, I think she might still be married to Lamar Odom. That might be a little hang up in the plan. And let's imagine this does happen, Jalen Rose. Will it be televised?
Absolutely. That's my...
Next question that we have is from Bass Reeves. Bass wants to know, Celtics fan asking Jalen, how difficult are hook shots for centers or all players in general?
They're extremely difficult, which is why one of the most signature shots in the history of the game is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's skyhook. You saw Magic Johnson do the baby hook because it's 2 hands on the ball, drop step here or there, turn around over either shoulder, try to have a soft touch. But you got to have a feathery touch to shoot a sky hook.
Adrian Thomas has this question. Do the Heat have the slightest chance to make the playoffs?
No, not this year.
It's not going to happen. I'm sorry, Adrian. You know, Miami's a great place to live. The Heat are a great franchise. It'll turn around eventually, but this is not.